goes over everything that happened in this week, the last 3 or 4 days since our last stream. So take it away, Rhodes.
There's no review better than the Rotes review. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I mean it's been a week, right? Like the last 5 days since inauguration, or even the last week really, um, has been full of news tidbits, volatility, uncertainty, excitement, and then disappointment. So it's definitely been a bit of a roller coaster. I think overall, if I were to give my impression so far, I'd say it's mid, right? Like we're not disappointing. We're not getting overhyped here. We're just the same as what we were before this week, really. Which is, I mean, maybe a little bit of disappointment for some, but Bitcoin has been ranging. It's been stuck in this channel range here for really a good month here, and it's at this 106K mark. A break above 100, just above 106 here, closing a daily candle above that is really the highlight bullish signal, at least for me. And then in terms of like the news and enactments that Trump has done so far, he did sign an order for regulatory framework and reserve evaluation. This isn't creating the crypto reserve that we all wanted to have happen right off of day one. It's providing a timeline for it. And then there's been also a lot of talk about them just using the existing crypto they already have. Not a lot of talk yet. I say yet because it's still possible, of them accumulating additional resources, additional reserves of crypto assets. So that's the kind of mid or bearish kind of sentiment that we've gotten so far. On the positive side, David Sachs has labeled meme coins and NFTs as collectibles. David Sachs is the crypto czar, so that kind of gives free reign on everything meme coin and NFT related. Of course, you kind of got to do that when your president has done all that, so it fits in really nicely. They have prohibited CBDCs. Senator Loomis, who is the biggest tease on the timeline, with her big news of her getting a promotion, I guess, which created a crazy pump and dump. But Loomis will be the chair of the Senate Digital Asset Committee, and so she'll work through on that. She's very pro crypto, so lots positive there. And there's still, I mean, kind of from her initial talks and ideas, that a crypto reserve and actual accumulation is still on the table. AI market cap at the moment is at 14 billion, down a bit. We had some other news on top of that where the GOAT agent, what agent is that? That's
Truth Terminal.
basically, yeah, Truth Terminal offloaded their holdings of Fartcoin to focus on.
Oh, it was Andy, right?
Yeah, and so so that way they can allow GOAT to be make their own financial transactions, etc.
Yeah, I want to hear for Loco's take on this in a little bit when we get to AI. He's super deep into it, but yeah, it's super cool too. Like they're like setting it up to where nobody can like kind of control the coins that he holds, and that when the AI is obviously autonomous, we'll be able to like spend it and everything. So it's crazy. We were talking about on the show before. I really liked GOAT because of the historic narrative. But the fact now that Andy is showing some type of like support, or at least talking about the coin GOAT to itself, is just even more bullish. So I really like that. I definitely want to hear for Loco talk about it more when we get to AI, but sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that's good. So that's a lot of the news. I'm sure we'll have more elements pop up. It's been busy. There's so much going on. And then Ross also freed, and so we'll wait to get the lowdown of everything Ross when he comes out on podcasts, etc. But that was also positive for the market, and just a great sign of faith from Trump. NFTs, ETH volume 34 million, massive volume on the Azuki sell-off. Azuki with a major sell-off. As always, you want to sell the news event when it comes to anything related to airdrop with NFTs. You could argue Pudgies was almost the exception to that, as it kind of landed mostly flat and is now up. But Azuki and an anime token itself also dumping pretty heavily. So not great on that side of things. But tons of volume in the Ethereum market side of things. Solana as well, really good volume, and Ordinal is kind of down from where we were in the past. Quantum Cat's up higher now, up to 25%, rallying up to a third of a Bitcoin. These Ordinals can really accumulate some value. So again, I think some of the outright winners very well could be in the Ordinal side of things. Milady's up, but kind of just a rebound from where they were previously. Mochaverse up 19%, Beamland Potatoes up 11%. You can see this is kind of sparse. Overall, the NFT market is down fairly reasonably across the board with the Izuki, etc. We had some interest in the Yuga assets there for a bit, with them kind of teasing the possibility of an additional coin or additional airdrop. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure more is going to come there, and then a good rally into, or a good cycle into Doodles, as that's the next coin that is expected. You've heard my thoughts on that, but I'm bearish towards the Doodle take on them for a coin. And then meme coins, Andy up 27%, and Landwolf as well 29%. So these are kind of brother sister kind of tokens, but a decent rebound there. And then Cult up 46%, the Milady token to 185 million. Pepe up 3.9% to 6.47 billion. Again, the meme coins as well, mostly red on the last 24 hours here. Prediction markets, Bitcoin price achievement 110K is now down 17% from its high at 56% likelihood. And that is the roundup. Excited for what we have to talk about here today. I think there's so much to cover, so much information. I think it's important to stay connected here as we go through this kind of like crazy transformation.
Absolutely. And I do want to, instead of just getting straight onto the majors, kind of talk about a little bit, dive into a little bit of the things that you talked about in here. The first off being, first, I hope you guys can hear this sound. Can you hear this? Can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I just want to watch this digital collectibles thing we were talking about before, because I want to hear your guys' takes a little bit. I know this is probably blurry.
We can't hear the audio on it.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind then. I'll have to set that up. I don't know why it's not playing the audio. But digital collectibles, pretty much in that video I was going to show you, the new crypto czar. David Sachs talks about how he categorizes, or how they're going to categorize NFTs and stuff like meme coins as collectibles, rather than kind of the argument that they could potentially be securities, or unregistered securities at that. Which is obviously something that's overhanging both the NFT industry and anybody creating coins. And Gary Gensler, obviously, and them, they sent Wells notices out, to people in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think putting NFTs in that basket, and potentially meme coins, really is going to, again, unlock a lot of people experimenting with tokens and all this stuff, because, again, they're not going to be scared about the SEC hitting them with the unregistered securities claim or whatever. Well, of course, if you're still doing fraud or still doing something sketch, you're going to get in trouble, even more so now with the regulations. But the people who are doing things the right way and who are trying to just create tokens and not commit fraud or anything are going to be able to experiment with different stuff. I want to hear your guys' take, kind of being in the NFT world. I know that digital collectibles, there's actually higher taxes from what I understand than capital gains. But overall, what are your guys' takes, being kind of NFT guys in the past cycle of, kind of putting NFTs in that digital collectibles basket?
I'm worried about the crimes we're committing on this stream right now. So that's my concern.
Yeah, but I see the comment popping up on the bottom. Is that a new feature? I love that.
No, it's always been available. We just haven't utilized it. But yeah, we can pin comments and show it up on the screen. So if you have a banger comment, we'll do so.
Right on.
So yeah.
But as far as like the digital collectibles thing, putting NFTs in that basket, like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I think overall with what's going on with meme coins and collectible and all, like I mean, it's just opened everything up for just chaos season. And I say chaos in a kind of, I think, a positive way, that any of this kind of stuff that we were concerned about, worried about doing in the past, we don't have to be worried about. If Yuga wants to go ahead and drop 10 coins because they have all these coin ideas, they can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Is it going to be good for the project? Whatever. But like, there's less concern and worry about everything going on.
Exactly.
And I think it opens that up, and then the kind of the structure and the collectability of where NFTs are, and there's also talk about like crypto and capital gain. Like, there's so many things going on in the back end, and that is like super positive. That it's really hard not to be optimistic towards everything in the space, and shed the worry of Gary Gensler, completely.
Absolutely. No, yeah, that's a great point. For Loco, what do you think?
Yeah, dude. I think honestly, can you guys hear me, or is it like?
Yeah, I
Yes,
hear you
you
perfectly
sound great.
crisp, super crisp.
Okay. Okay, sweet. So I think positively affecting the space, but when you think about it, I think the reason why Gensler and the SEC were after the NFTs, it's because we pretty much in the NFT space kind of like went after the financialization or the economical kind of like aspect of it. And so that's why he and the SEC were kind of like predatory somehow about, just like regulating them as securities. But if you think about the difference in between NFTs and actual collectibles, it's it's pretty much it's pretty much the same, right? It's just the fact that people were buying for the purpose or the intention to make a profit. But overall, I do agree that this is going to clarify, a lot of positives about what it is to convert your collectibles to into digital.
Yeah.
So I don't know, mostly positive aspects. I do still think that some regulation needs to be done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of scammers and grifters that we saw last cycle, which was
Absolutely.
very negative.
Yeah, kind of
So
the way
for
I
sure.
see it is like it's going to allow, like I just said a second ago, it's going to allow for the people who have good intentions and who have capabilities of doing things to experiment. But it's not like how people are going to think. I think where it's going to be the Wild West. If anything, the regulations are going to make it where the scammers and the people are going to have a way harder time. And it might be bad right now for people who are scamming and who are easily rug pulling and stuff, because it's the Wild West. But the another takeaway or another trade off of the regulation is those people are not going to be able to do that as easily, more than likely. So I think regulation overall is good. It's good for the good builders, and then it takes away a lot of the, or makes it harder for a lot of the scammers. So um, with that being said, any what else we were talking about, the Trump regulatory framework? I want to spend a few minutes on this. I know a lot of it was hyped as like a digital asset. What's it called, stockpile, where they were going to hold all the digital assets. Do we know which ones they're going to hold yet? Is it? I think it's speculated it's going to be the American coins, but we don't have an exact list of the coins that they're going to keep in the thing yet, right?
No, obviously it's all my bags. It's just only my bags that they're holding.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly ETH though. If you look at their current purchases,
Well, that's WLFI. That's something different. The Treasury is the U.S. Treasury. We're talking the coins that the U.S. government has seized from criminals. So yeah, I think from what I understand is it's not set in stone yet exactly which ones they're going to keep. Um, but and then the CBDC is prohibited is pretty huge as well. I do want to go and move on to the majors. After this, just so you know, if you're new to the show, I want to go ahead and get to the chat real quick. What's up, Roja? What's up, Panda? What's up, Hijack? What's up, 10-year dress? Oh, that's a classic meme. What's up, Bull? What's up, Andre? Saki says feels illegal to get so many insights for free. Appreciate you, brother. Bull says, I wonder why they're bears. They're still bears sometimes. Crypto's an upward acceleration. Yeah, a lot of people base their entire thesis on like whether price is going up currently or not, and that happens. But um, yeah, either way, let's go ahead and go on to the majors really quick. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. Let me pull TradingView up real quick. Am I already sharing my screen? I believe I am, right?
yeah, well,
I am up
Awesome.
and good to go. So yeah, I mean, NFTs are still in this retracement. Anime airdrop did not go particularly well. I think there's lessons to be learned. Through the process, there's a lot of talk on the confusion that was surrounding anime token and whether or not, what the actual value, what the actual claim would be like. And so really the lesson is like, you want to reward your long-term holders, but you want to do it as a surprise. You don't want to do it in a way that confuses buyers, because it's the pump of the NFT that really drives the value throughout this whole process, and delivers more. So you can argue that the way they've done it was definitely the most fair, but quite the liquidity suck thereafter. In terms of volume, NFT volume has been good. It's been strong and consistent, which is great. Buyer to seller ratio is just below that 1.0. Again, bull market arise when it goes above 1 consistently. And in terms of volume, daily unique traders has been not bad. Kind of really pulling back to where we were earlier in December. We've now pulled up to kind of much better levels here. And the blue chip index has retraced quite a bit, further than I expected. I expected that we would be beginning to rally again already, but we're getting kind of discounts across the board on a lot of collections. If you look at the last 7 days, all we're seeing up right now is Milady's, Remelios, and Mutant Apes. Everything else on the blue chip collections that I track are down. And then when we look at the 30-day, again, it's Milady's and it's Sprotos. Everything else is down. So quite a retracement here for NFTs in general. A lot of that was driven by token speculation. And of course, now that tokens have come and gone, at least the major two that we expected, a little bit of a leg thereafter. I've pulled this up to look at the last 7 days of activity. And you can see here, other than Milady's, a bit on Punks, Trump, Cato, everything is gone on this retracement here. So
have you guys dove into Cato at all? Like I just started learning about it. Somebody just talked to me, and like, is this something you like? I haven't dived into it. Do you think it's something that's sustainable past the airdrop, or is it kind of just like a cash grab? Like, what do you see this as, just from your, I don't know how much you read into it and everything? Like,
I mean,
what
the platform
is the sense of like a farming opportunity. I mean,
it's hard. If you're to be farming, you have Bren, probably out of everyone here in the stage, has the best opportunity to farm. You have to be someone of relevance in the space.
I think it's just based on views on tweets, right? That's what it's kind of.
No, it's like intelligent tweets. It's trying to measure the quality of the tweets. So
really?
Yeah, you're right. It's they're going to be measuring it probably just using metrics, right? But it's replying to content that they're tracking and receiving good responses to it, specifically good responses from other influential people. It's like a KOL loves KOL kind of ecosystem.
It's like Portal Coin, but
yeah, that was kind of my thought when you said
exactly.
That.
Yeah. Or friend tech, and like what is it? What do they call that? When you buy my coin, I buy your coin, or that kind of
Ponzi?
thing.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, exactly. There's a bit of Ponzi-ness into it. It's a great, interesting, informative platform, but these yaps and that kind of side of it, I'm hesitant towards it. I think it's a lot of effort for less reward in general. The Cato NFT is interesting. You can have that and get a portion of the airdrop. I think the platform that they're coming out with which should have a really good idea of sentiment, etc., is really interesting. But you want to break it down, like when it comes to some of this stuff, especially when it comes to meme coins, it isn't necessarily about who is the knowledge. It's about who can react the fastest sometimes. So yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed on it. If you can tell by the way I kind of back and forth it a bit.
Absolutely, and rightfully so, because a lot of these have just been kind of short. The portal thing kind of was crazy because they had you right. You had to straight like advertise portal on like all of your
Mm-hmm.
tweets, and that airdrop was very underwhelming, from what I remember. But so yeah, rightfully so. Definitely interesting. So like the Kato Genesis NFTs, obviously they're just gonna get a fat airdrop among other things, probably.
Yeah, I believe so. I that's kind of the expectation there. I wonder if they have the Cato Genesis has access to the platform or not. If it's a token access to the platform
Interesting.
versus paying for the platform.
A little off topic, but someone made a fake Vladimir Putin page with it and put out ticker Putin. Join my very special Putin community and be part of the movement. Get your Putin now. So yeah, no, this account has
Sounds like a easily $1 billion market cap coin.
yeah
Right?
800k followers, and then they get these massive accounts somehow, and then
You just buy them. You can probably buy that account for like 50K if you want it.
yeah, and then they just make a quick 100-200 million dollars off of it and
Yeah.
dip.
Um,
Um,
Let me take a hot take right here.
yeah,
Azuki is a good price to buy right now.
dude,
Oh,
three
for
point
sure.
eight? Is that what that
Run
just
it,
said?
run it, run it. I think we
Wait.
all should just have Azuki
Wait, that
PFPs.
says 3.8?
That says
ETH,
3 point.
Ethereum, not dollars.
Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck the airdrop. I know that's obviously why, but like, dude,
Yeah.
I think
No,
if you
they.
want a nice Azuki PFP or two,
yeah,
could be
this
the
is the
move.
time. Very interesting.
The art's gonna be good, dude. They've always been like they've been at this range before. They've been at 5. They've been fudded to death, and they still bounce back. You know,
Wait, so what?
Yeah.
I have not been keeping up with anime at all. I've saw the price of the token stuff, but what the airdrop like? Was it people get a big airdrop? Like
apparently it
you
was ass. Apparently it was
really?
butts.
Yeah.
Look
Like
at the
The
price.
airdrop.
Look at the price.
yeah, no. Did
Where is it?
like a floor Azuki? Was it based on like collector score and all that, or like how did it go down?
Collect a score, but there was a base claim score that you got.
Okay,
And I've been trying to look for
holy
what the
shit.
actual amount. Yeah, the anime token just destroyed. So I came in not bad off the start, but just a
Shitty
full
environment
liquid
to
sell.
launch into. Honestly, it low key, if it is going to have a long term future, this is what you want to happen early on
Mm-hmm.
because most of these coins have this washout anyway. It just
Yeah.
happens to be that Pudgy and Azuki's now are happening during an overall bear period, or just like a period of like confusion. I think this is the best thing that could happen. Where if they do turn this into something, you want it to be at 300 million. So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on anime. I'd way rather. That's why I really like Pudgy or Pengu. I really like Pengu.
You cut.
Uh, really like Pengu. Um, sorry, but
I was gonna say, do you really like Pengu?
no, my bad.
Um,
Somebody called me. So, no, I really like Pengu, but the fact that it launched at like 2 or 3 billion, I was hesitant to go in with size, but now, especially as it's heading towards this all time low, potentially forming like a double bottom, I do think it could be. I like it a lot more than at like 3 billion is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, I feel like
yeah.
I missed some things. I had to go run out. I feel like whatever Azuki and the team tries to do, it's always ends up bad. Like they've never had a good reaction to anything they do. I feel like, but
Yeah,
they're
And
just doing pretty well though. Like if you look at their chart, like you're getting in. Like they've been at this range before, and it's still been
mm-hmm.
bouncing at 15, which is crazy. Like it's always like it will always be at 15 at some point. So could be a nice 5x on ETH.
yeah. No, I think it's just all about long term execution on whether they like deliver on this decentralized anime
Well,
thing or not.
and
You
well,
know,
it's not even that. Like they have an anime show coming. IP wise, they're really strong. So there's still a lot behind Azuki that's really good.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a big sell off here post event. If
absolutely.
you're into the ecosystem, this is a great time to pick up a floor one and then trade that floor one in or out later on when you want to collect your forever Azuki kind of thing. But yeah, it's at or near range floors. Actually,
absolutely. I think it's going to run off the strength of this NFT bull that I think is going to kick off, especially with everything that's happening with Trump. But long term, we'll see how many of these things stick around long term. You're hearing about a lot of these projects. I won't go into specifics, but like the NFT industry is just wide open. Is all I'm going to say. Like the people towards the top, there's a lot of craziness going on. I wouldn't even be surprised. It's just wide open. Any of these projects, even the ones that I'm like VFriends, for example, that I'm really into, like people who consider to be like not even doing anything right now could very well be at the top very quickly. I think the NFT industry is just wide open. There's like 2 or 3 like clear winners, and then the rest of the shit is just like so wide open right now. And I think this is going to be like the really like the most important bull, whereas the last one was just kind of like a little bit of a warm up. I like Doodle. Damn, it's under Doodles. I get it. It's because Doodles is the next to have a coin, but holy shit.
Yeah, it does.
But I feel like Doodles is already. If we thought about Azuki situation and Doodle situation, I feel like the Azuki one has been priced in for a while. If you look at the Azuki price,
yes,
seeing that it's at 4 now,
you're not wrong. Given the fact that Azuki, this token, has been expected for over like probably a year now. It feels like it has been expected so long, well before Pudgy, etc. So there was a portion of the Azuki floor price that would have been baking in the token as part of the future deliverable for Azuki. Now that has happened, what's up, what's next? That's kind of the scenario, and there's not another clearly identifiable next, even though you have IP and anime and continuation of the anime token ecosystem.
Yeah, I think we're kind of just waiting on like just become evident with this whole Trump shit that a lot of the time it's like some random event that comes out of nowhere, some catalyst. What it will be for NFTs, who knows? But I feel like there will be something, and several of these IPs will go crazy. CryptoPunks at what are they at 40? What's the all-time high on CryptoPunks? Like,
all-time high is
it's really hard to tell.
Over 100, isn't it?
100?
Yeah, but that was at different ETH prices as well, so you don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's like half a mil. I think was, if I'm thinking, half a mil USD.
Was that like under 2K? You're saying?
No, it'd be like 100 ETH at I don't know, probably 120 to 150 ETH at 3 ETH or something.
So kind of around where we're at now.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Azuki might be a good buy right now.
I agree.
Not the elementals, just the Azukis. Like, get the OG ones.
I mean, if you want to rock an Azuki, then the elementals are a great value.
Yeah.
Like, look at this one. Look at this one for a show host right there. Good to go. Right?
Someone in here needs to get that. Just throw it out for every show.
That's crazy.
Dang, do you know the ratio? There's like a lot of females, huh, in the collection?
Where it's just like, it's the floor.
Too many females for Brent, for sure.
Oh, I get. Yeah.
At the floor, females are going to accumulate. There's a guy on the floor of Azuki. Is this a guy? I don't know. Is this a chick?
That's pretty clean, though.
A really flamboyant one for Danksy. He'll really like that one. Let's see.
The floor ones have been not as good as the ones at 12 ETH, or maybe they just look better at 12 ETH.
They looked way better at 12 ETH, did they not? Right. Where are there's the thing is the good ones on the floor are getting sniped, right? So there's a lot less. So that's how high you got to go up 4.18 to get something half decent on the floor.
There's some you missed that was pretty decent.
There's a lot of female ones that are pretty sweet, but I like this one.
That's more Danksy vibes right there.
Right there, there's Danksy.
Dude, the pink hair, kind of the move.
It's kind of fire.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're back into this territory. What's the next catalyst for NFTs, right?
I've been accumulating more VFriends. The president of VFriends today, Andy, his name's Andy Kranak. He put out a poll today asking about meme coins. I think for sure there's a V. There's a for sure.
Say when's V token, right? Like
I'm telling you, he's been really silent. Like he popped into that Discord a couple weeks ago, saying okay, kind of hinting and sweeping a bunch, saying that shit's coming. They've been very silent. One, I think this is probably far off. Probably not who's doing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Gary's like acquiring to buy punks too, if they are really selling it, which would be absolutely insane. But even if that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
happen, that right there would bring V Friends to the top instantly. But even if that doesn't happen, the V coin, there's just so many different things that they can do with it, where they could announce the token tomorrow, which they could have been working on for a little bit here for a later date, which would instantly put the V Friends up to 10 ETH, kind of like what Azuki did, and stuff like that. So either way, I think something super imminent for there, whether it's V Friends or another project that hasn't been talking quite yet, but it's still active. I think there's a lot of very undervalued opportunities right now, where like all of the attention's kind of on Azuki, Pudgies, the Bored Apes, etc. So
Yeah, V. I mean, if V Friends is launching a token, it could be a good buy right now.
yeah, I mean
What you do know is that
what?
I
What's
was going to
good?
say what you do know is that when Miladies are running, everything else in NFTs drop. Miladies just absolutely counter trade
Counter
NFTs every
signal,
single time. It is 100%. So like Vitalik PFPing Miladies is crushing all the other Ethereum
yeah.
NFTs.
He's been like trolling today. He made like a interesting tweet about like mentioning.
Dude, this guy Vitalik gotta lock in, get ETH to pump,
He's
bro.
he's doing Canada bad. You know, like come on, bud, get your shit together.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I do like how he's kind of embracing Ethereum community, whereas in the past NFTs he was kind of like, "What's the point?" type shit.
Yeah,
So
no, he's got it.
that's cool. He's like retweeting Charlotte Fang and shit. That's crazy.
Bro, you want to pull up real quick? Nick's Garage on TikTok asked about Onyx Coin. It's moving. Kind of. I'm not sure if it's looks pretty sus, but it's at 750 million market cap on base.
That's a meme. Thought you meant an actual an actual coin.
It's just Onyx Coin. You add coin to it too.
Okay. ONYX?
Yeah, that one, first one.
Oh,
6 months old.
The symbol's weird.
Go to the hour. So yeah, I think it could be starting a bigger correction. Like you see how it did on the left on the 18th, where Rhodes' cursor is right now.
Mm-hmm.
It could be forming something like that with multiple legs down, with that one being the first. So I think very likely probably makes another low. And then if you do believe in the project that it's going to continue, that would probably be a good entry. I don't know too much about the coin other than that. Why do you think it looks sus, Danksy?
Look at the liquidity, 300 something K on like a 750 million.
Yeah, is that not, maybe that's not the main liquidity pool? Because yeah, you're right, that is very sus.
Oh, maybe it's not the main liquidity pool.
Dude, yeah, FCN. Yeah, it looks like 2.3 on that top one, if that's the same one. But that looks like,
yeah, you're right.
That looks like it's
everything. It's on base.
Yeah, I think the one he did might have been like a wormhole or whatever to base. You know what I mean? Like it's like you could have it on base, but it's not the main. It's like I think it's an L1 coin. You know what I mean? Like it originated on there. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then that's why the base one has so little liquidity, because it's just like a base version.
Not sus. Confirms. Not sus.
Okay, I'm glad we're able to do that. As far as, what was the guy's name? Fucking whoever.
Nick's Garage.
Nick's Garage.
I like the name.
That's fire. You do cars, Nick, or what? Either way, I do think it is forming a correction, Nick. With most of these corrections have 2 to 4 lows in the corrective channels, and that's only one so far. So it could take off from there, but more likely comes down for another low or two before.
I target back to 570 as your first range of kind of support here.
Yeah, for sure. Bull says those Azukis look cool. Yeah, they really do, man. They're like the most aesthetic.
Dude, good thing I didn't do the Azuki trade. I would have been fleeced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was too confusing. You know, there was no clear like, okay, this is how much you're going to get rewarded if you buy it. You're going to get the same level of reward, that sort of stuff, and that's kind of the degree of what caused some of the lack of movement price wise.
I feel like
I totally agree with you with the what you said before about keeping it a secret for OG holders. I think that would have been instead of it being a negative, it would have been a positive, and then it would have changed the whole situation.
I think, and I think if anything, there it points to him like not giving a fuck about like pandering to holders and more just trying to build something long term, hopefully. Whereas if you give a shit ton like into one or two people, it's most likely just gonna, I don't know, I don't know. I haven't really looked into the tokenomics, but
They kind of that's kind of the way it worked out. I mean, like you would think that their big holders like a Dingling would have got rewarded like the max possible because his collector score is going to be as perfect as it gets, right? So in a way, it's rewarding your whales more than just someone that wants to be involved in the community.
Yeah, you're right.
More recently, right? So I get it. It's good to reward your faithful, but that's kind of the detractor. And then of course, then you don't have this ability to onboard new members or at least onboard the speculators for a duration of time. So
yeah, without that price appreciation, like you don't have any of the hype. Like you just see Azuki at 12 to 15, you're like, oh, it hasn't even moved.
It didn't even move on the announcement of the token, which is the wildest part. Right?
And then
you start to get priced in earlier now. Like these are token things, right? Like
that's probably as well. But like, if it's, I think like you see with Pudgy, there wasn't like a blow off top on Azuki. It was just like constantly flat because like there's no additional cap. Like, why would I buy an Azuki for the token if I have to like grind out some awards for the next like week or something or month or something?
Damn, I like these takes by Danksy today, bro. He's so fucking vocal. I love it.
Locked in.
I know, I love it. I think he's hyped by the fucking Azuki sub 4 fucking ETH. That's insane. I mean,
I might buy one. I've always wanted Azuki, so
do it, bro. Are you gonna
also I had a theory where being the first project after a while to launch a token is significantly better instead of waiting.
Yeah.
Like a major one. Like Pudgy was like the talk of the town. Like if Azuki launched before Pudgy, it would have been different, but they've just been dragging for so long.
It's the uncertainty, it's the unknown that drives like this crazy amount of like FOMO in NFTs. It's like, oh, this really could be the next great thing, right? And so the community and NFTs, because of like the echo chambers and the X and all that kind of stuff, we tend to get kind of wrapped up in these narratives that are maybe a little too positive thinking. And then of course the same is true on the other side. When things start to go wrong, it's like, oh, it's over, and we just like we centralize, or what do you call it? Like we basically exaggerate both sides.
It's like a hive mind mindset on crypto Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, control the narrative for sure. And I feel like Azuki has always been reactionary. So they were late launching elementals when everyone was doing like the second collection. They were late, and they got backlash for it. And then with the tokens, they were also late and got backlash for it. So they're just too reactive, I think.
Did anyone catch anything on the timeline? Did Garga do some fighting towards?
Garga fudded.
I didn't want to bring that up, but you did. Garga or Gordon? Sorry,
I think Gordon fudded Frank and Banks.
That crash out was crazy last night. I didn't want to bring it up, but it's just crazy. I don't know. Just interesting. Again, I don't know any of these people. Just
he retraced it. But I just was curious to because, like, I mean, ultimately, and you see this on the timeline for Azuki and other communities kind of into Azuki right now, is that we like to bring people, we like to, like, I told you so, and we like to bring people down, and like, if our bags aren't doing well, we kind of bring people down, or it's our bags or nothing, right, and that kind of stuff. And I think Gordon kind of corrected that on there, but because like at the end of the day, like Frank and crew, they've embraced meme coins 100%, and they're as much as Frank has this NFT collection, he's kind of like NFT adjacent at this point, right? But I was just kind of curious because I didn't catch it on the timeline, and so that's why I asked. But if it's something that is not necessary to ask, then we can just say, hey, let's all be friends and move on.
you can't roll back the screenshots. There's always some screenshots left over.
I was looking for them for a good portion of.
Oh, they're in the comments. I'll send you one.
He's pretty much He's pretty much just said that he's focusing on meme coins now and whatever. Pretty much what everybody else says, or what that narrative is. People talk about, and then he said something about phase banks too or something. But
that's what happens. That's what happens when you're in the public light. You really can't be fudding other people's bags. It's like a really bad look. Yeah, even though I might be fudding people's bags sometimes. I'm gonna
you just cool it on stream to 800 people, but on the timeline it's whatever. No, I'm just playing. But interesting for sure. I think we're just kind of waiting for some type of catalyst with NFTs. I don't know what it's going to be, but usually that's how it works, right?
Yeah, we can't rely on OpenSea because that's.
There's an OpenSea airdrop soon, right?
There's OpenSea 2.0 soon too, isn't there?
Wait, I was going to ask, did they ever drop that or right? No, it was supposed to be December, right?
They never did. Yeah, like you can't rely on OpenSea. Like seriously, like I don't know if they just got some like hyped up in the thought and we're like, hey, we're gonna do some shit, and then you actually get down to work and they're like,
I get
we don't feel like working today. So
tech definitely takes time, right? Like there's delays or whatever, right? But like they haven't said
they're slackers. They're slackers.
What do you mean, dude? I can launch a token real quick. I feel like OpenSea has the people and the tech to scrape all that data already.
I bet they're waiting on 2.0. Like it's probably adjacent to that, but like you would think they'd communicate. Like, okay, this is what's
and there's no regulation now. They can just go wild, right? Like, jeez.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like they just want to get it right, or because they know if it's bad, like people are going to be even more pissed. Hopefully, that everybody, they reward old
collectors.
Dude, I mean, I still feel like OpenSea still gets the majority of NFT sales or NFT volume. Am I wrong?
NFT transactions, yes, not volume.
It's like the lower cap ones are all on OpenSea.
Yeah. All the large sales, all the main collections go on Blur, and all of the other collections go on OpenSea. And it's crazy. Like you look at this recently, OpenSea has 16% of the volume market share, whereas Blur has 80% of the volume. And then when it comes to the actual transactions, OpenSea's like 60%, 50%, and Blur is 46%. That's on like the more recent. That's kind of Blur is getting more traction here more recently, and that could just be simply to the fact that we're seeing a lot of Azuki volume, which is a large portion of the active NFT collections that are being traded right now. So
for sure. Pandad asked what happened to Retardio. They were such a big cult. Yeah, the coin pulled back really hard with a lot of these others. I think because of the mind share of Retardio still on the timeline and everything, I think it's going to recover and might actually be in the cult category.
Yeah, cult saw a bounce, and Milady seen a bounce as well. So I think there's some beta to that, right?
For sure. And I do think just because of the mind share, you have people like Mitch and all these other people that are the Retardio community, whatever. I think it has a resurgence. We've seen coins in the past go down 70 or 80% where it seems hype dies for a while, but I think the roots are so deep in crypto, like whatever, on Twitter, that Retardio probably has another run.
I mean, Trump went Retardio with his token drops. Like, how did Retardio not?
Yeah, right. Just off the
bat with it, right? Like, things legit got Retardio over last weekend.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure, man. That's see, what's Bitcoin doing right now?
A little bit down. Hopefully I can get some rest over this week. Last week was nuts.